Yo, what up everybody? Welcome to this live answer session. I would call it a question and answer session, but I won't be actually taking live questions in this session. I'll just be delivering answers to questions or a question that was submitted earlier this week. So please submit your questions throughout the week to my inbox. I'll select the best question or questions that I get during the week, and I will answer those on Mondays at 3:30 p.m. But don't worry, if you miss it, you could always just come over to the page, click follow, and see first, and make sure that you see this answer session first and see if your question has been answered. This week's question comes from Mr. Ronald Ross. He asked, what's the best between kettlebells, clubbells, and steel mace, and what's your favorite? Before I start, I just kind of wanted to say, best is something that is a very individual thing, so it really depends on the person. So the question best, you have to ask more questions and dig a little bit deeper to really answer that question completely. There's really no short answer to this. There's many schools of thought when it comes to which tools you should use and which tools are the best to use. If I had to have an opinion on it, I would say kettlebells are probably the most useful and versatile tool that you can use at the gym or even at home. They allow you to do a lot of different things. They give you everything from strength to conditioning. They're fairly easy to learn how to use. And if you have someone to coach you, it doesn't have a very steep learning curve. So kettlebells can be a very useful tool. They don't take up a lot of space either, but they don't travel well. And by travel well, I mean just the size and the shape make them difficult to travel with. Clubs are an awesome tool, but they are limited in their overall use and variety of movement. There's tons of movements you can do with them, however. There's a lot of creative stuff going on, a lot of people out there doing some really cool stuff. They're great for rotation, decelerization, shoulder strength, and mobility. Same as the kettlebell. The kettlebell has a lot of applications to grip strength. But the way you use the club with your hands is going to be different than how you use the kettlebell. I think the kettlebell would kind of surpass the club on my list, and that would make it kind of the better of the two in my opinion. I believe the kettlebell just gives you more. Next was the mace. I think the mace is an interesting tool. It's something that a lot of people are starting to learn to use, and a lot of people are just kind of scratching the surface on the potential of what the mace has to offer. The mace is a very, I wouldn't say easy tool to travel with, but I've found it easy to travel different places with my mace. It's pretty easy to carry. You can throw it over the shoulder if you get tired. You can hold it by the handle. I generally pack my maces in a ski bag and I travel with them. So when you're given 50 pounds of weight to travel with, you can carry a 10 pound and a 20 pound or a 10 and a 15 pound mace not in your carry-on. Definitely not in your carry-on. It'll be confiscated. But you can carry a mace in the luggage that you'll be checking in. I think the one thing that I really like about the mace that the other tools don't necessarily offer is your ability to change the lever. With the mace, depending on where your hands are on the length of that mace, you can change the lever, and therefore you can change the weight or the perceived weight. I think you can do a lot of different things with the mace that are not conventional methods of using the mace, but the mace is a fairly inexpensive tool. If you have that tool, it takes up very little space. If you get creative with the tool, you can get a lot of things out of it without having to spend a whole lot of money to have this expansive home gym. Are there better tools to do certain things with? Yes. However, I think that if you want it bang for your buck and you actually know how to use this tool, you can get great benefits from just this one tool in your house. I mean, like I said, the same goes for the kettlebell, but I think people underestimate the versatility of the mace as well and what it can be used for. And there's a lot of different schools of thoughts. You're gonna have people that tell you, it shouldn't be used like this or it shouldn't be used like that, and that's okay. As long as you know why you're doing something and you're doing it in a safe manner, and you have a goal and a reason for doing something that's going to achieve certain results or certain objectives, then I say go ahead and use the tool to do what you need to do. I think that there's no absolute best tool. The best tool is the one that you love to use. So whatever you love to use it. Whatever's going to get you up and inspire you to move and want to learn and want to do more, that's the tool for you. For me, it's a variety of tools, and it all comes back to my body and how my body functions, for one. So that's the number one tool. If that tool's not working right, then all these other tools don't matter. Those other tools are just extensions of my body. Those other tools just provide me feedback, so that my body is able to change and adapt accordingly. But if my body is not functioning properly in the first place, then it makes no sense to load with tools that I'm incapable of using properly. So with all of that said, whatever it is you enjoy, I think variety is the key. If you like a variety of things, and if you do a variety of things, I think you'll have the best response from your body. I think that mobility and flexibility is essential. And so enjoy whatever tool you like. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this answers the question. If you have questions, be sure to send them to my inbox, and I'll be answering the questions from this week on next week's live cast. All right. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace out.